What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be checking out this video from Metatron's Academy. It's called How Much Money Can You Make with a Language YouTube Channel? And you can see that my ugly mug is right there in the thumbnail and it says he is wrong. So I'm kind of curious to see what I'm wrong about. Now, one thing you'll notice is that Metatron dropped this video about 8 hours ago. Usually I kind of like to wait at least a minimum of a day before I do a react. That way I don't end up stealing views from the other YouTuber. But because that's my face there, I'm gonna do a fucking react. I'm not gonna wait the whole 48 hours. I'm curious to see what he's got to say. Okay, I just had a quick scroll down. There's a few comments coming in, but we'll look at those afterwards. Holy shit, this is a 27-minute long video. Yeah, we're gonna have to speed this up a tiny bit. So, sorry guys for all those who don't like things sped up, but yeah, this is gonna be long as. I hope you're ready. Have you got your drinks, your popcorn, all that type of shit? Let's see this. Let's see if this is the end of a very intimate, loving relationship. No, I'm just kidding.
Hello, noble ones, and welcome to Metatron's Academy. Today we're reacting to a fantastic...
Okay. Oh, that was... I heard fantastic there. I think we... Actually, you know what? I didn't quite hear that properly. I want to hear that again.
Hello, noble ones, and welcome to Metatron's Academy. Today we're reacting to a fantastic channel that, of course, you're all aware of, and it's the channel Evildea, friend of the channel. Although, then again, the more I look at that profile picture, the more I consider the possible implications of such a statement. With that being said, 2 weeks ago he made this video called Language YouTube is Dead Niche. And I do appear on the thumbnail wearing my 15th century Milanese breastplate, for whatever reason you chose that one, but hey, I don't believe I'm actually...
I'll tell you why I chose that one. I literally just googled Metatron, and I looked for whatever high-res video of, like, thumbnail or whatever I could find with your face in it, and not too much in the background. I was like, nah, have that one, cut out the background, nah, shove that on there.
Featured on the channel. I'm just on the thumbnail, but regardless, I imagine due to this channel I belong to the language community as well, even though this is only a secondary channel for me. Anyways, the overall video is good and the information is excellent, but I do believe that there are some sections of this video that ended up misinforming inadvertently, and those sections that we will review where I believe Evildea is incorrect about don't generally remove from the overall value of the video production. It's still a very good video and I think you should watch it in its entirety, but he's wrong on a few aspects, particularly when it comes to the financial possibilities or revenue or money that you can make when it comes to a YouTube channel focused on languages. Let's check this out.
What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a little bit of a strange language learning video for you all. So normally what I do on a day-to-day basis is I upload a video where I do a react to someone. It's either someone presenting their language learning methodology, something related to languages that I find kind of fascinating, or I drop a big investigation video which generally takes the life out of me, and those are the ones that are the successful ones on this channel. Or what I do is I upload a video for one of my mini challenges that I'm running at. I just realized, okay, if he does a react to my full video and I do a react to him, that means you guys are essentially re-watching this video any one time. However, I have been facing an issue recently, and it is something that is becoming more and more of a problem as I go along. And that problem is that the language learning space is fucking dead. There is nothing happening in the YouTube space for learning languages. Now, you might be thinking, well, that sounds a little bit crazy. There's like fucking millions of people out there learning languages. I see new channels all the time popping up with, content. Like, there's literally a new channel every day. Yeah, that is true. But here's the thing, guys. There isn't the audience for all those channels. I totally agree with this guy. This guy's fucking on point, man. Like, God, I don't know why more people don't listen to him. And every single one of these channels is producing the exact same fucking content over and over again, just repackaged. You either get people...
So he's, up to this point, he's starting very strong. I agree with him. I think the statement that the language space is dead is a little exaggerated, but then again, the overall information I would say is correct. It's definitely not one of the most, or should we say, easiest spaces to tackle when you want to make YouTube your career, because we are going to go into the money, of course. But anyways, I just want to make sure that I'm not covering Elmo, because if there is one, we don't want to disrespect. There you go.
Presenting ways to legitimately learn languages, and each video is just like a slight tweak of the pre-existing formula. There's not that many formulas, okay? Or it's someone out here selling complete and utter bullshit. And I kind of enjoy, taking those videos down because I know the formulas. There's only so many formulas that exist to learn a language.
Yeah.
And when someone comes along with bullshit, it's pretty obvious to me.
Absolutely right.
But this does present a problem. There is not the views or the audience to sustain this type of work that I do on this channel, okay? Now, you might be thinking, but aren't you in it for just the love of it, Evildea? Don't you just want to, make videos about languages? Yeah, I fucking do. I do. But at the same time, I need to make some mullah to make this worth my time because, I could be spending this time just sitting here at home by myself.
Or with Elmo.
Learning languages, or better yet, learning a skill that will actually make me an income. So yes, I do this for the shits and giggles of it because, I'm a full-time game developer. But I also, like every YouTuber out there, have grandiose dreams about growing my channel and also talking about other interests that pop up in my life, such as health, which is a new one that's just started. But I wanted to present to you how fucking dead this space really is.
That's the part where I'm going to start to disagree with him because, as you see, the general message that he's sharing is if you're in it for making money, it's dead and you won't make that much money. right? Now, I'll let him qualify that because I don't want to strawman the man. But generally speaking, that's the idea. And I disagree. I think there is a lot of money that can be made in this space without having to do the scams, if you will, or the frauds. Of course, I'll show you some analytics to prove that.
Because I feel like you, as language learners, might actually be curious. So I'm going to give you a moment. Just a moment. Tell me, how many people do you think there are learning languages and consuming language learning content, at least on YouTube? What do you think? Millions? There's got to be millions of people, right? Like, we know in every country there's people learning languages. So there has to be millions of people on YouTube consuming content about learning languages. Nope. Definitely not. Try that number again. Maybe a million? No way in hell. Nowhere near that. Keep going down. 500,000? Nope. 100,000? You'll be pushing it. 50,000? Now we're getting closer. So we're somewhere between the 50 and the 100K mark. That's right. No matter how big your YouTube channel is, if all you talk about is learning languages or stuff related to learning languages, you will not grow beyond that.
Okay, so before I let Metatron speak, remember that's my argument, okay? It's learning languages or related to learning languages. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I wish he told us where he get that figure. So perhaps it's something he might clarify on a response video or another video where he also...
Okay, so I got that figure basically from researching all these other channels, including the ones that you see in the video. And basically, it's an average of what you can expect from the biggest channels that are 100% devoted to just learning languages. So you know those are the people that are there to just learn about learning languages. So this is not looking at like the Salma of the world, you know, these types of channels, because these are not language learning channels. These are more just entertainment channels that use languages in some way or another. Now, there's not actually that many big channels that are devoted to just learning languages, although there is several big channels that are devoted to specific languages, but they're usually like English, French, German, Spanish, and that's pretty much it. They shrink pretty quickly once you get down into the lesser known languages. Like even in the Chinese space, there isn't that many channels that are really big devoted to teaching Chinese.
Takes into consideration the data that I will show you in a second, but addressing this at face value.
I'm kind of hoping that I'm wrong right now. I really do hope I'm wrong, because then that means I can keep bitching.
I think I could agree with the statement that there aren't a lot of people that you can sort of rely on as continuous viewers of your channel and consumers of your products, right? Because a video is a product. If you stick to language learning only, but because he added the and related topics, no, that broadens it a lot. Once again, I'll go into the details in a second.
Okay, so... Okay, I'll let him continue that in a moment, but my argument here is, you know, related to language learning. So it is language learning that I'm getting at. I get the feeling so far we're going to be moving into, you know, like the entertainment space. Because I'm not even a language learning channel when you think about it. Like, I do have a couple of language learning videos, but realistically, I'm a commentary channel with a focus on languages.
I want to let him speak.
There's proof of this, and I'm going to show you all
Please.
the proof. Now, you might just think, well, hang on, Evildea, maybe it's because you're a shit YouTuber.
No.
Well, I probably am. I'm not even talking about myself here. I'm talking about all the legends in this space. Every YouTube channel. I just did a deep dive on every single YouTube channel, and I had a look at this, and the numbers stand up.
I should probably, like, qualify my own statement right there. Not every single YouTube channel out there, but, like, all of the ones that you see in this video, I did a deep dive on, and a couple others that did make it into it. In fact, I should probably say for Metatron, why he appeared in the thumbnail but not in the videos, because he's not a language learning channel. He's a commentary channel, kind of like me, but he's a good-looking guy, and I wanted a good-looking guy in the thumbnail.
I think on a day-by-day basis, you're going to average out somewhere between 50 to 100K people interested in learning languages. Now, those could consist of new people learning languages and coming to YouTube and doing some search, or the people who just live online just consuming content.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, if you guys are like me and you do consume probably more content than you should, you probably noticed as of recently that there really is a problem. There's nothing really interesting coming out anymore. So we've kind of hit this really interesting point where this is a dead niche. There's no way for people to go anywhere substantial in this niche beyond selling bullshit.
I completely disagree. So I agree with the first part. Let me restate that. So I agree with the first part. It's really difficult to find originality. You can find people that give it a new spin, or maybe people who are particularly charismatic at it. But then again, as he says, beyond like Lang Focus or Xiaoma and people that actually have millions of subscribers, it could be considered a dead niche in the sense that it's difficult to keep it original. But the fact that he thinks that means that it's not going to go anywhere financially, he's incorrect.
Or selling out in some other way, or just accepting the fact that this will never be what they can do unless they add a very interesting spin on it. So
Okay.
we're going to take a look at the numbers. So we're going to have a look. This is Steve Kaufman, okay? You all know him. He's a legend in the space. He's been here since, I don't know, since I've been in a nappy, he's been making videos, probably obviously not on YouTube, but the point being he's been doing it for a long time.
Sure.
1.4 million subs.
Huge.
Now let's look at a per video basis, the views he's getting. 29K. 26K, 19, 52, 74, 19, 19, 53.
So he has a point, right? For a million plus almost 1.5 million, these numbers are extremely low. And of course, he's going to connect this to the fact that if you don't get big numbers, you won't make much money. And
I do want to also add, if you look at my own channel, my numbers that I get compared to my amount of subscribers, what am I, like 30, 31K? I don't know. But like I get a couple of K views on videos, and that's because I have not focused specifically in on one single thing. So if you just do the same thing over and over, your numbers actually go up quite a bit because people know what to expect from your channel. But when you do kind of like a scattering of stuff like I do with my commentary, especially when I step outside the language space, your numbers start to drop overall, even if you return to doing what you're doing before, because people, they're like, well, I don't know, man, you changed it up on me. Like, I don't feel it anymore. You know, like people, when they sub to channels, generally, okay, they come in for like one or two things. It's either for the personality or for what you're talking about, like that one specific type of thing. And then that's pretty much it. Now, YouTube wants you to go along the path of this is exactly what you do day in, day out with no change, okay? But I feel like long term, short term, that's great for strategy. Like I could have just done investigations every single day and I'll probably be popping off making lots of money, okay? But there comes a point where it's like, do you want to be doing this for the remainder of your YouTube career? So I've taken the path of, okay, well, I'm just going to do whatever I want and build this into kind of a personality commentary channel. And yes, I will get less numbers, but at least I can maintain this for the long term. And you guys also start to, you know, understand me as a person, be like, well, okay, you know, Evildea's got a myriad of interests. He's got input from many different types of things. So, you know, maybe I'll be interested in this one video, maybe I won't, but I'm not just going to like ignore and unsub because I don't get, you know, that one specific type of content that I was looking for.
if you don't make money, this cannot be financially stable as anything but a little hobby, right? But that's incorrect. These numbers will be absolutely fine to make very good money, but you have to post like a maniac. He posts 4 days ago, 11 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But if he had these numbers and posted every day or twice a day, he would be making bank.
Oh yeah, no, Metatron's completely right about this. Yeah, if he was getting like 26, 52K, you know, sometimes 53, 100K or whatever every day, he would be making some serious money. However, would the viewers come back daily for those? That is the question. Because there comes a point where, like, I get the feeling Steve's already struggling to maintain whatever rhythm he's got because he has to think of new ideas. And Steve is just focused in on learning languages. So if he could do it daily, he'd be making some serious money. However, due to the fact that, you know, he probably can't come up with ideas for videos, he does it when he can. Plus, he's got his LinkedIn or whatever, you know, LinkedIn. No, it's not LinkedIn. LinkedIn or whatever. That's highly successful. So all he's got to do is keep passing people from the channel off to that external product.
Just so we're clear, I'll prove it with the analytics.
30K, 20K, 77.94. On a per video basis, he is barely cracking 100K views.
Oh, no,
unless it's just a random blowout video, or...
Probably has an average of 20 at this point. 20,000 is,
that video is substantially aged. Okay, I'm talking at least several months old.
Sure.
So if this is the biggest channel regarding learning languages, I'm not talking people that in some way use languages, and we'll look at them later. This is terrible. This is a terrible representation of what you can achieve if you just want to cover off on this topic, okay? Now, you might be thinking, yeah, Evildea, that's a per video basis, but what about overall? How many views is he getting, like, every day across his whole channel? Well, as a YouTuber, I can share those stats with you because there is websites dedicated to that stuff.
Sure.
So here we have Social Blade, and you guys can use this to explore all your favorite YouTubers, okay? Have a look at this. On a day-to-day basis, he's getting 58K, 28K, 81K, 49, 49, 38, 68, and then he cracks 100K when he drops a video, okay? And then it goes back down to 21K, stuff like that.
More important than that, you should look at his overall monthly views. Those are the ones that really matter if you want to figure out how much money he's making.
Now, you might be wondering, okay, that's interesting. Have a look.
That's probably a good point from Metatron. I didn't point that out because, you know, some months you just have great months. This could be a great month for him. You'd need to look at the whole year. I probably should have shown that. That's a very good point.
Look at those estimated earnings. You see that money range that it says there? How much money he makes on a day-to-day basis, okay? Now, for some of you guys, you're going to be like, fuck me dead, he's making like bank. And then for others, you might be thinking, 1.4 mil subs? That is shit, okay? Realistically, this is shit, okay? So
Let me open his social blade very quickly just to follow along. Okay, here he is. It's not shit. Look at this. $7,400. And you might be thinking, yeah, but it says a range between $400 and $7,000. It's always the highest. And in fact, usually it's higher than what it says.
I haven't found that to be true on my specific channel. I found it to be somewhere around the 75% mark, generally. So maybe Metatron's just got better click-through. I don't know, but because Metatron does do different content to me. But let's assume that it is making $7K a month. Yeah, okay, so that's still pretty good money. It's still way below what I make as a programmer.
So you know, so this guy is making probably between $7,000 to $8,000 a month. That is not, well, yeah, sure. For a channel with 1.4 million, he should be making a lot more money than this. But
that was my point. So yes, Steve is making good money. However, for the amount of effort to build such a channel, my point being here is that he should be getting way more views, realistically. If it's like a healthy channel overall.
For a lot of people on the planet, $7,000 or $8,000 a month without even going into possible Patreon, merch, and sponsors, right? So we have to keep...
That is true, all of that. I was looking at this as a pure AdSense basis. The reason being because obviously there's lots of channels that don't want to do sponsorships. For example, I'm not interested in doing sponsorships, but then again, I'm in no rush to make money. But my point being here is that, okay, if the equivalent time that it took him to build that up, if you invested that time in, say, probably another niche or even external to YouTube, I think you would probably be making a lot more. But then again, I could be completely wrong about that. Yes, that is a lot of money if you're living in certain places around the world, but also certain places around the world you cannot monetize your channel.
Keep this real, if you know what I mean.
He is making, let's say, on a day when he drops a video, he'll make $200 on that day, type of thing. 200 American dollars. Now, if you live outside of the US, let's say in South America or something, you might be like, ooh, that's really good money. But there's also a lot of countries where you can't even monetize your channel. So
yeah,
just be aware of that.
Sure.
So anyway, but you can see it's a range. It's between 7 and 116.
No, it's always the highest. Like, I mean it. It's always beyond the highest. I have checked so many channels, including all of my channels. And every time I check my channels and I see what the money that they are considering your AdSense is, it's always higher than what they say at the maximum. And I checked with other channels that I know how much money they make.
I'm actually kind of curious. I want to see, like, maybe he'll show it a little bit later on, his actual channel. Actually, I think he will, because he did mention that earlier on. And then we can have a look at my own.
And yeah, so the lowest one, it's never the case. It is always the higher end beyond.
Yeah, it's definitely never the lower end, but for myself, I found it to be around the 80% mark.
How you calculate that.
20 and 325. So this is a good representation of why a lot of channels have to keep upping their bullshit about what's achievable, just to try and scrape in those very few views that do exist. Now, you might be thinking, well, Steve's kind of boring. Like, who wants to watch Steve? Like, I know a lot of people are not interested, but I started with him, and it doesn't get any better. Okay. So let's have a look. We've got Language Jones, okay?
Yeah.
5K, 34K, 78K, 11K, 9K, 9K, 5K.
Once again, the problem here, if you wanted to do this for money as well as for passion, the optimization is the number of uploads. I mean, it's why on my main channel now I'm posting twice a day. It's just the best thing to do if you want to make this the way you make money. And
100%. Unfortunately, YouTube is a numbers game. So if you want to be a YouTuber and do this, in today's day and age, you got to post daily or even more than once a day to actually make the money, which kind of sucks. I'm happy to do daily because, you know, I just like enjoying, you know, reacting to random shit like I am right now. Like, literally, me and Metatron are making money off of each other right now. But yeah, if you're the type of person who just wants to make a one-off video, that's got to be a fucking good video and it has to blow out.
on the second channel, this one here, I have been posting every day, although lately, due to the fact that I had to kind of focus a little bit on the main, I reduced the number of uploads on this channel a little bit, which of course meant that the revenue went down significantly, but I will get back up to daily, because it's the only way to make this make sense. And that's AdSense alone.
Okay, 10K. It doesn't...
Okay, so even if me and Metatron disagree on anything, guys, or like disagree on other things, I am in full agreement with him there. If you want to make this a job, like, because I know a bunch of YouTubers actually came into my comment section and commented on that video. If you want to make this a job, he's right. You got to go daily. Or you got to get so big, or you got to blow out so much. Yeah, this is the only other way, okay? You got to make a video that just goes viral every single time, you know? And most people cannot manage that.
Look any better. Let's go to the next one. Days and Words. Now, he's not really a language learning channel. He's more like shares reviews almost. And I enjoy his content. I'm not saying I don't enjoy any of these people's content. I'm just pointing out that this is a dead niche. So we got 43, 12, 10, 7, 50, 18, 10. Let's go to the next.
In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have included Days and Words in this video because he isn't a language learning channel. And that can skew the thing I was trying to present here. Now that I'm watching this and I'm thinking back, yeah, probably shouldn't have included him.
Next one, Mikkel.
Right, but that channel is dead, right? Last time he posted was 5 months ago, and that's the latest. So this also is a contributing factor. Not to be a contrarian, but I'm just pointing that out.
12, 10, 7, 50, 18, 10. Let's go to the next one. Mikkel. Now, Mikkel is actually blowing up. He's growing quite fast.
Good
I'd
for
say
him.
he's probably one of the fastest language learning channels on YouTube, growth-wise. Yep. The guy who exaggerates to the fucking moon just so happens to be the fastest growing channel. Who would have guessed?
I know.
But yes, that is the case. But here's the thing, okay? 34k views.
And the reason Mikkel's blowing up is simply due to the fact that he is a daily poster. And there were periods of time where he was doing multiple times a day.
Views 23, 7, 19. Let's go down. 6, 12, 2, 3.
I'd like to underline he has 30,000 subs though. So this is actually these are decent numbers. They were horrible numbers for someone like Steve Kaufman. But for him, generally speaking, if you want to know if a channel is being at least decently successful in terms of views, is when a channel gets at least 20% possibly of his user base or subscribe number into actual views. So
Okay, I don't know where that stat came from, but if that's a stat, if that stat's true, 20%, you know what? I want to calculate my own. Okay, so I talk about, languages obviously on this channel, but I also talk about the most random shit, and I got like 30k subs, okay? So, let's do that. So 6,000 views. If it's languages, yeah, I can crack that. However, if it's a random topic, it's going to be about 3,000 views. So I'm probably, if that stat is true overall, in the unhealthy range.
if you have 100,000 subs, you should in theory get 40,000 views per upload, at least. And if you have 30,000, you should have 6,000 to 7,000 at least. So
yeah, then based on that stat, I am in the unhealthy range because I do hit that, but not very often. And then I just have random blowout videos as well.
The fact that he's getting 7 here, 19, 23, believe it or not, the views are fine for his subscribe base. In fact, I get lower views generally on my channel, this one here, than I should, but then some of the videos go viral and that compensates.
So I am pretty sure
I'm pretty much in the same category as Metatron here. So I had some videos that go viral and that compensates.
I almost would bet money on it by end of next year he'll be cracking 100k and his views might be maybe double. But it ain't going to go up much beyond that because there is not the audience for it.
That's fine.
We can just see this across all channels. Let's go to Lewis. Okay, Lewis, he's got 3, less than a K, 8, 2, 12, 9, 28, 5. And he's interviewing experts in some cases, okay? And they're just not there. The views are just not there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to another one. Matt vs. the World. Matt vs. Japan. His main channel doesn't really upload anymore, so it wouldn't be a fair comparison.
Yeah, but then again, the 5,000 subscribers, you have to consider the number of subscribers and only 16 videos. So, and the only reason why he even gets views is because people know who he is a lot.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. Yeah, Metatron's correct. So Matt's face is a known face in this space. So he can sell videos just via his face.
Because of the controversy.
Let's look at his new channel. He's getting way more views than he has subs.
The controversy.
Now, this happens generally when someone's presenting good videos about a topic and there's an audience for it, okay? But you'll notice that the audience is not that big. If the audience was bigger, he would probably, because with the quality of videos that he makes, be getting a lot more views. So he will continue to grow fast. He will gain subs on this channel fast, but the views will tap out just like all the others. Tony Marsh, 16k, his views have kind of died as of recently because some of the content isn't quite up there. Lindy Bots, okay, she does really good quality. She's legitimate, well-respected across the board. 66k, 14, 6. 14,
really,
42, 12, 19, 11. Like, this is terrible for a YouTuber, okay? If you want to be a YouTuber and make a living doing this, you cannot do this just from, AdSense alone. Now,
incorrect. She can't do it because she posts once a month to 3 times a month. This is like, I really mean it. And I'll prove it. I know I keep saying I'll show you my analytics. I'll show you my analytics and I'll show you what happens if you post every day on a channel like this one. That's the only thing we have to say about this Evildea.
And make a living doing this.
And I agree with that. The problem comes for a channel like hers, who's not just like a shitpost random reaction channel like my own. That's pretty hard to do. Creating original content every single day.
You cannot do this just from, AdSense alone. Now, obviously, they have to do sponsorships if they want to make this a job. So if a YouTuber is working as a YouTuber, they have to do sponsorships at this size. So let's go have a look at Ollie Richards, okay? Ollie Richards, 500,000 freaking subs. 10k, 15, 4, 30, 12, 33, 18, 18.
Oh, no.
So, what does this mean? Well, I guess we should actually have a quick look at my own channel. Although I don't do just language learning, I'm kind of more of a scatterbrain channel, just with a language kind of like focus in a way, I guess. Except for that one, that's health. 3, 4, 6, 6, 3, 5. Friggin'. Then when I actually cover language learning, like I present some methods, 7. Where was another one that I did that? Oh yeah, that was that 5 one. And then, you know, when I do call-outs and stuff, that's when I start getting more views. Where's the last one? Or I do investigations. Investigations is where it's at. That's where I get all my views. Now, I'd love to do more, but it is pretty hard in our time.
And I'm not joking about getting all my views from investigations. Like, 90% of my views come in from, like, 4 videos. Like, 4 videos bring in 90% of my daily views.
Consuming, but... it is interesting because I do see a lot of people in the comment section saying, Evildea, can you please make more videos about learning languages? I could, but there isn't the audience for it. It's not you guys. You guys who watch me, you guys are good. You're sweet. But overall on YouTube, there's not the audience for it. In fact, if I want the audience, I have to step out of the language space. Now, I did this, you know, one about my health journey and stuff, and it's got shit views, but that's to be expected. Same thing happened when I stepped out of the Esperanto space into languages. Now, you guys might be thinking, does that mean I'm leaving languages? No. It just means that just like I never truly left Esperanto, I complemented it with other stuff, I will be complementing my channel with other things because I don't want to be stuck in a dead niche.
I want to also add, there was a couple of reasons I made this. One, because this was just something I kind of, figured out as I was doing my research. 2, because I also wanted to explain to my audience why you should not expect just language videos on my channel. Maybe I should have put that up at the front to make it obvious, why I'm talking about, stepping outside the niche. There's a few problems with my own video here, so I can already see these in retrospect, but it is what it is.
This niche, unfortunately, is a dead niche, but there is many ways to use languages to benefit or to grow, basically. And a great example of this is Xiaoma. So these channels are where the views are at. If you are interested in languages and you want to make a YouTube channel, don't make a YouTube channel that teaches people how to learn languages. I know that sucks for people who want to learn how to learn languages.
Unless it's something like English, German, French, Spanish. In that case, even though it's kind of saturated at the moment, you could grow a channel there. But for other languages, there's just not the numbers.
But there is not the audience for it. It is a terrible idea. In fact, find an interesting way to utilize your languages as part of something separate. So for example, Xiaoma, he does the whole, impressing people on the street thing. And I know a lot of people disrespect that, but boy, oh boy, does that bring him the views. Look at this. 6 million fucking views, okay? And then if you look at the actual views, some of these videos get more views than he has subs.
Yeah.
This is where it's at.
So Xiaoma is a super healthy channel, like insanely healthy.
If you want to use languages, find a way to use them in a funny way in real life, okay?
Sure, I mean, Xiaoma is super rich.
Okay? That's where you're going to get the views, okay? Now, does that mean that's the direction I'm going? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm a commentary channel. I talk about random shit and commentary on it. That's what I'm literally doing right now. I'm giving you guys commentary on the language learning space because, boy, oh boy, is this space fucking dead. There is nothing going on.
So, how much money can you make if you start a YouTube channel? So I'd like to underline this. I really believe is misunderstanding. This is a misunderstanding that a lot of creators have and people outside of YouTube. So the idea is, people think that if there is a YouTuber, he posts a few videos and his videos constantly get 300,000 views. And then you have another YouTuber who posts videos and his videos get 40 or 50,000. And you think, well, the YouTuber with higher numbers is the most successful. Therefore, he's also the one that is...
Okay, yep. So I can see maybe the misunderstanding is coming from the fact that I just did not present that bit of crucial information during my video. Yeah, you up the number of your videos, you will make more money. I kind of just took that as a given though. Yeah, maybe I should have really pointed that out. If you're Lindy Bots, okay, and you're dropping one video a month and you're getting 50k views, it's shit. But if you're dropping one video a day and you get 50k views, then it's fucking insane.
He's making more money. His business model is more profitable. Incorrect. Because if you have a YouTuber that posts 3 or 4 times a month, even if his views are like 300,000 guaranteed per upload, but then you have a YouTuber that posts every single day, even though they average much lower views, they will make 5 times the kind of money that the previous YouTuber will make. Also because constant upload helps triggering the spamming of archive content, which is how your back catalog continues to produce money. And of course, the more videos you have, the better. Going into the analytics.
My back catalog doesn't get sparked that much. Legitimately, the vast majority of my views come in from a couple of videos.
analytics. Now, looking at my language channel here that we are discussing, Metatron's Academy, I have 130,000 plus.
Ooh, okay, so now we're going to look at his analytics. Okay, this is kind of exciting. Now, let's look at how many views he's getting. So he's getting 2 on that one, 4 on that one, 2, 3. I remember some of his videos, though, they get like 15, 20K, and then obviously he has some blowout ones, which have gone like 300 plus K. Because I did look at his channel, but I didn't include it because I didn't consider it to be like language learning. I would say he's making anywhere between 4K to 6K a month. That's Australian dollars. I don't know what that is American. That would probably be 3 and 6K, something like that.
Subscribers, so I'm kind of mid-range, right? And I think this is good because I can be an example of something that is somewhat attainable, right? Because if we look at people that like Xiaoma or people in general that have like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, yeah, that's something that statistically is not going to happen to anyone even if you try, unless you're like a minute portion of the content creator space. But 100K is doable if you put enough work. And for me, it took me about 300 videos. Now, given I chose this name, in fact, my wife suggested this name specifically because the name Metatron is already a brand due to my existing main channel. Effectively, it was easier for me to grow the channel and also kind of do a little bit of self-PR. So
yeah, no, that's true. I had a programming channel at one stage, which is kind of offline at the moment, but I just called it Evildea Programming, and I gained like 1,000 subs pretty quickly, just because people knew me.
It might take you longer to reach this level of audience, but if we look at the views, my views are pretty low, right? 8,000, 15,000, 2,000, 5,000, 14, 22.4, 22.3.
Yeah. Overall, I would say, okay, his views on average seem to be the same as mine, although he seems to have a bit more like blowout videos with those 27, 28.
5, 7, right? We have the occasional 90,000 from a month ago, 18, 24, 25, 25, then we have a 98, 16. So we have the occasional outlier, like this one, for instance, 370,000, and then generally 112,000. But as he was saying, these took 2 months, right, together. So in general, whenever I post a video, the views are pretty bad. However, these views in the month of September, for instance, and the reason why I'm using September is because I consistently...
Okay, so he's getting 23K views a day. Now, I was getting that until I started doing less language learning stuff. I think I'm like around 17 or something like that now.
Posted every day, generate $4,000. $4,000, that's a lot of money.
Okay, maybe the issue here is... obviously, I work outside of YouTube. YouTube's not my job. I do this as a hobby. So $4,000 to me is actually not that amazing. Okay. That's just my thinking. Because I compare time investment versus return on time investment. And the time that I put into programming to become a senior programmer and basically, lead a team type of thing, it was faster and more efficient to do that than it was to build a YouTube channel. I've been doing YouTube long before I was a programmer, long before I did another career path, okay? So it's like, I look at it as a time investment type of thing. So if you're coming into this with the goal to make money, it's really hit and miss for a start. But let's say you manage to actually make that money, you gotta work hard. Like, we're daily posters. Like, that's a lot of work. Even though basically our channel is a slop. We just like react to other people's content. Occasionally I do something that's original, but like, overall, the vast majority of our content is just reaction content. It's still, doing that daily, it's not much money, okay? Because, like, how long does it take to build a video? It's like a couple of hours, maybe? I don't know, maybe 2 hours or something when you put it all together, or... I guess for Metatron, he's probably got a more efficient, thing going here, but for me, it still takes a bit of time. Okay, so I want to compare what he's getting to what I am at the moment, okay? So, if you have a look, let's go... I'm getting 22K views. Estimated revenue is 1K. And what was he getting? So he's getting 22K views over the last 48 hours, revenue 4K. So I'm guessing he's had a lot more bumps during this, because we don't actually see here, during the last month that's enabled him to get up to that.
Low views. How did I do it? Because I post every day. So to think, this is why, to say that this space is not there for making money unless you like sell yourself out or anything is incorrect, because I think a lot of people out there would be very happy to make $4,000 without even looking into sponsors.
Oh, of course, there's lots of people happy to do that. I don't disagree with that. But if you compare that to working a full-time job, 4K a month, because remember, this is before tax, in Australia, because, I'm looking at 4K a month, that's nothing. Like, that's below minimum wage. Let's just calculate that out. Let's just say I'm making 4K a month, okay? And as you saw in that last video, I'm not. I think the highest I ever made was 4.3K in a month. Okay, so what is the Australian minimum wage yearly? 49k. Okay, that is the legal minimum wage in Australia. If you make 4k a month, okay, remember this is before tax, you're walking away with 48k. Therefore, posting daily, if this was your job, you're making below minimum wage. So, yeah. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Search and Patreon, just from AdSense. That's pure AdSense. It's not 4,000 net, it's 4,000 gross because it needs to be taxed. But then again, in America, you can do quite a few write-offs as a content creator because you're a freelancer. So there are ways around that to still be financially really good.
There's not much you can do in Australia. You might be able to claim your computer over a period of 4 years, maybe a camera, not too much.
But the other thing is that when you spam like this and post every day consistently, what happens is that every single day you roll your dice. You're rolling your dice every single day, and then one video might go viral. And in fact, this video of mine 3 months ago did go viral. It got 2.1 million views. And then the following videos, this one, 700,000. And those 2 videos alone, in combination with continuous daily posting, generated this in 1 month, $15,000.
God damn, that's a lot of money. However, this is actually good for me because this is a commentary channel, okay? This is not a teaching channel, teaching languages channel. Now, I'm thinking maybe for an English or a French teaching channel, maybe a Spanish teaching channel, yeah, those types of numbers are attainable. However, for any other language, I somehow doubt you're going to get those types of numbers. Okay, maybe, and Spanish. But for a commentary channel, yeah, that's possible. And you can see it's really died off as of recently for Paul Metatron. He's actually within my range right now.
So, this money was created in the language space with a general average of very low views, but the occasional ultra outlier, which can happen.
Yeah, so I agree with that. However, again, this is commentary channel.
Even though his analysis isn't incorrect per se, I think the missing point was this crucial aspect. If you love YouTube, you have a passion...
No, I think the missing point here is, yes, okay, you got to post daily. But again, it was actually true to what I was saying in my original video, is that you've got to find an interesting way to use languages that is not about teaching languages.
And you love languages, or whatever niche you're into, but in this case we're talking languages here. And you're thinking, man, I really wish I could spend so much time. It's not about greed, by the way, but I want to spend more time. I want it to be my job. I want to do this as a career. It is difficult to get to these numbers. But the idea that it's impossible, or the idea that, oh, you're never going to get that through AdSense, is incorrect. The reality is you're never going to get this kind of money through AdSense unless you spam for a consistent amount of time. Because remember, I did a lot of daily, I'm talking like consistency is the key. And this is what people tend not to have, because they think, well, I'll never, like right now I'm making $50 a month. This is useless. This is pointless. Maybe they post, even if they post every day, which takes a lot of energy, right?
There is one point to note here, okay? So he made 15K in that month. But then he showed, as of the last month, it was like 4K. I don't know if he's halfway through a month or something like that, but let's assume that's at the end of a month. That's a very big difference in swing. Very, very unstable. Now, obviously, that previous month where he was making 15K or whatever, that is a good month. That can offset you for the other months. This also comes into the equation of making this your job, okay? Whether this is stable or not. You can have some month where you're just insanely high, which is what I had, which was like 4.5K on 1 month. But then on other months, I'm generally around 2K.
A lot of dedication, editing and all that. So you do that, maybe you do it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, and you don't see actual results, then they give up. I didn't give up.
Oh no, he's totally true. Do not expect any type of results right away, unless you're coming in here with like Hollywood quality around some topic everyone cares about. No, this is a long-term game. This is something you'll be at for a very long time.
I just kept doing daily post, never break the chain, post. I did it for a long time, about a year. And then this happened. Now, currently, the money is a little low. We are in the 3,000 range with this channel, but I'm not posting every day. So if I start posting every day, which I will, by the way, I was just busy with the other channels. But if I do resume posting every day, the money will go back up to 4,000 as a basis. And then once we hit a few outliers again, which will happen, the money will go back up and maybe go to 6, 7, 10, 15. We'll see. I mean, 15, to be fair, was exceptional for a channel this size. So that happened, I guess. It's not like I'm expecting that to happen again, but I'm trying because that would be great.
Hey, if I get 15K in 1 month from YouTube, I'm getting a birthday present from my wife.
Anyways, this is just to say you don't need to compromise yourself or what you believe in or just become a fraud in order to make money through AdSense. No. in order to make money in the language space. You can make good money with AdSense. It's just that you got to be consistent and post like a maniac. That's all I got to say. It's not the only thing. You need to maintain a certain level of quality. You need to be interesting. You need to have good thumbnails. You need to have good titles. You need to think about... There are a lot of aspects to this, but the consistency and the number of times you post is a lot more important than people think. With that being said, massive hello to Evildea. Always respect your work, man. Keep it up. And in fact, post more, my friend.
Okay, I've been told I must post more. No, you know what? This is actually perfect for me. Not for anyone who's teaching languages, but this is perfect for me. It shows where, you know, a language commentary channel can go. So thanks a lot for that, Metatron. This is quite inspiring and it's going to push me forward. I feel like Metatron's video, as opposed to being a rebuttal to my own, was actually like just adding more information on top of what I provided. So this was a fucking excellent video from him. And I really enjoyed it because it's also kind of inspiring for me. Now, you know, the thing is, yeah, I want to make money type of thing, but it's not just about the money. But it's like a video game, okay? When you play a video game, you want to get the maximum amount of points. You want to collect those points. You want to grow your character. You want to get all the loot and shit. It's the same thing with YouTube. I kind of treat it like that in the game in a lot of ways. So I totally agree with everything he said here. Excellent video. I don't even know why I reacted. I should have just said thumbs up. Yeah, no, great video. But I enjoy the backwards and forwards here. Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this video, definitely go check out Metatron's channel, Metatron Academy. That's his language one. Go sub to it. Of course, you can check out his main channel. And I'll see you all in the next video. And you better all come back. I want that 15K.